Hi, I'm Kagi. I'm the designer and founder of Kagi Jewellery. We are thrilled to be in your store, and I want to thank each and every one of you for coming along today to this training workshop. I know you've got a fun session lined up, but before you go into the session, I want to share with you a little bit of the history of Kagi and why I started it. I started Kagi when I was 24 years old, and I had a vision. That vision was to be Australasia's #1 designer jewellery company. It's quite a long blurb, but that hasn't changed. From starting Kagi on my kitchen bench to now being stocked in 300 fabulous locations across Australasia, that is still my dream. And by working together, I believe we can make that happen. Now there's a little known story about Kagi and where it all comes from. So I'm gonna share with you something that'll help you to understand why I'm so passionate about jewellery and why having my own jewellery business and designing my own jewellery was really a logical step for me. I grew up as a young girl having a very close relationship with my grandma. She was very cool. She was a fabulous woman. She came to New Zealand as an immigrant in the 50s. That was after the war, and she was from the Dutch East Indies, which is now Indonesia. She had no money. When they arrived here, they had nothing. But what she could do what she did is she knew how to work it. So she would have amazing costume jewellery. She'd always have the most awesome, fabulous hair, and she was just such a fabulous, fabulous woman who knew how to really celebrate her look, celebrate her uniqueness, and rock out with what she could. And I remember as a young child going through her drawers of beads and looking through them and playing with different combinations. And there were gemstones, there were pearls, there was crystals, there was so much. And it just really inspired me and helped me to see that you don't have to have millions and millions of dollars to know how to really express yourself and have fun with accessorizing. So I grew up with my grandma being a big influence on me, and there was a particular story that she'd always share. It relates to a strand of pearls. So I want to share that with you now. So this strand of pearls, I've actually got it here. This was given to my grandma before the war. So they're living in the Dutch East Indies, which is now Indonesia. And her dad would go to Sri Lanka and he'd buy pearls. So he bought her this strand of beautiful freshwater pearls. Then the war broke out. One day a Japanese guy came to their door and said to my grandma and her mum and her brothers and sisters, "You've got 1 hour, pack your stuff. Pack only what you can carry, we're taking you away from your home." They didn't know where they were going. They literally had to just run around the house and grab what they could. Now my grandma she was a little bit crafty. So what she grabbed was jewellery. And what she did with the jewellery is where it's interesting. She actually filled her undies with jewellery. Now I don't recommend this as a good place to store your jewellery. So Kagi's not saying that you or any of your customers should put jewellery in your underpants, but this is what she did. So she put the jewellery in her underpants and they hopped on the back of trucks. Didn't know where they were going. Where they ended up was a prisoner of war camp, and they were there for 3 years. My grandma and her mother went to one camp, and her brothers and her father went to the other. So for 3 years, they didn't know if they were alive. They didn't know what was happening with the rest of their family. After the war, they had nothing. The Japanese opened the gates, told them they could go, and they walked out onto the street with nothing. Nothing was left at their house. They had no money at all. But what they did have was the jewellery that was in my grandma's undies. So I guess for me, that shows some things are worth protecting. They had to sell everything, all the jewellery she had in her undies, other than this strand of Mikimoto pearls. Now, I've grown up with this story, and it really represents for me that jewellery is something that you keep in your family. It's more than just beads, it's more than pearls, it's more than metal. It means so much more. What do you give to someone when you're engaged or getting married? Jewellery. You dig people up after 2,000 years. What are they wearing? It's their jewellery. And really, jewellery has the power to transform how someone feels about themselves. It can make them feel fabulous. They put on their jewellery, they walk out the door, they get a compliment. And for me, that's what Kagi is about. It's celebrating your uniqueness every day. And as you guys are integral to the Kagi sales process and how we're represented to our customers, I believe that each and every one of you is more than a salesperson. You are a stylist. You're taking customers on a journey where they can really express themselves and showing them ways that they can be unique, showing them how to find a combination that'll suit their lifestyle, their needs, their moods, their moments, their occasions. So it's more than just a regular sales job when you're working with Kagi. It is actually styling. And I want to thank each and every one of you for coming on board with the Kagi journey and for being such amazing brand advocates that I know you're going to be. So I'm going to pass you over now back to our Kagi sales manager, and they're going to go through some great tips on how you can really help your customers experience the Kagi brand. So thank you very much. I look forward to hopefully meeting you guys in the future. And yeah, good luck with it, and thank you once again.